Now, to actually see what the data looks like, we go to this module called dbRead. So dbRead has a few methods that will once again write the image, just like we had last week, or similar to how we had last week, where we essentially create an image file and then dump the binary data to it to then create an image. So we're going to do that. We're going to have something called fetch image, which will get the image and then send it to the right image method. And then we're going to also get it from a specific author. So Charles will be an author, so that's show you a way to get that information. And then we're going to sort the data, so that's going to be a way to actually sort our different textual data in ascending order, and where we get the authors, so we'll find and then sort them, and so we'll print the author from that, so you can see that we'll get the authors and print them. So those are the kinds of things we can do. So this is basically examples of how one finds information, sorts the information. So unlike SQL, using the select command, we're going to simply use what are basically class methods, as you would normally do in lots of other kinds of drivers for different kinds of classes. So this is the main difference between SQL and a NoSQL approach, is that we will use these kind of class-based methods to sort of apply to then get information as we need, rather than having to send strings of SQL commands. So that's the key difference. So we're going to go ahead and run that, and what should happen, as you can see, is that we're going to write an image. This is where we actually fetch the image. We're going to get it from Charles, and we'll create this image from Charles. I should say that we already added images into the database, so we have things like this image, we have another image, oops, we have another image. These are just obviously archaeological objects that are just examples. So I've gotten these objects. So this is the image for Charles. So we should see this image created. So we're going to see Mari 1B created as part of Charles. So Charles looks like that statue, basically. So we should hopefully see that when we run it. And then we're going to get also some other information down here, the sort data command, where we're going to return all the authors and print them in alphabetical order. Okay. So you can see I already tested that. It's already happened, but I'm going to run it again. Just to show you how that we do that. So the running command, as you can see, is that we're going to get this dbRead class. I think it's a class, isn't it? Yes, it's defined as class dbRead. And then we're going to run db. So run db is the method that actually runs all these other methods. So we'll get Mongo, and then it'll get the database, which is basically activating and getting the database. That's something we already did, if you recall, in the run Mongo class. So we'll actually be using that other class. So it's going to do this and get the client. And then it will then fetch the image from this particular class, and then it will sort the data. So we'll do those two commands. So let's go ahead and run it. If we do simply Python run, we should get the information. Once again, you see the authors in alphabetical order. Now let's see if we actually got an image. So we should see something called image.jpg. And there it is, image.jpg. Recall that was created up here. So that's where the reference to the image.jpg, and so it should look like that statue we saw earlier, and it does. So basically it's creating a statue for this guy Charles, right? So we find Charles and he's a statue, basically. Alright, so that's how we find an image using Mongo's DB, and also get data that we've already inputted, that is in this case authors.